not port across. It's as simple as that. So you can end up reinventing the wheel, or thinking of having to solve the same problems again that are already solved in a web environment if you're kind of going for the disconnected app model, which has to deliver everything off of the content inside its own application package. And that again means that there's if we think of that in terms of the cross-platform environment that I was talking to earlier, potentially there's a problem there in terms of sharing development between, if you are going to target BlackBerry or if you are going to target Android and iPhone, you either go for one of those cross-platform toolkits and accept the compromises that I was talking earlier, or else you end up with separate pieces of software which reinvent their own wheels and don't leverage each other's code, because they're all in different languages, they're all in different programming environments, and it's hard to leverage one against the other. Not impossible, but hard. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth sort of just bringing that one back. Linking apps together. Apps don't really link. They can link you out to a web browser, but you can't link from one app to another. Not terribly easily anyway. The mechanisms just simplicity is a great thing, but when you start to want to build linking into it, that's not really there in apps at the moment. It could be built in, no doubt, but you haven't got that at the moment, and so that can be a problem. If you're wanting to create synergy between different applications, you're going to have to go the extra mile and find ingenious ways of doing that at the moment. And data sets, if you've got 130,000 ebooks, well, clearly you're not going to sell all of those to one person, but you may well have a reference database which has got 10 million records. Downloading that onto a mobile device so that people can look up their abstracts and find scientific paper that they're interested in is not really an option. There's still a bound on the size of data that you can download onto these devices, purely because they have a limited amount of memory. And so if you've got if it's important, if you have big archives of content, that points you straight away towards, either having, going down the web, the kind of custom web route that we were talking about a moment ago, or building some kind of hybrid, actually, because you can hybridize these approaches together, and that's another option. Though I've kind of made it a little bit black and white here by saying there are two routes that you can go down. In reality, of course, you can build an app that does a bunch of stuff itself, but then goes out to the web for specific content. Actually, we're seeing that a lot. Things like a good example would be the Facebook app. That's a custom piece of user interface that's just talking to Facebook through APIs and getting the content back. So I'm just rounding up here, really. That's the pros and cons. We looked at the market, we looked at the technologies. If there are any questions, then I'll happily take a few questions. Great. I've done my job well then. Thanks very much.